Hey y'all, welcome. Welcome back. This is Talk Your Shit with Deja, where we drop the eye because not only can I talk my shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. Hey y'all, I just want to have a real moment right now before I even get into this week's topic. Like, when I tell you, I do not want to record this in the slightest, but we're working on being better this year. And we're not letting our feelings get the best of us because right now I feel like I should be in bed, not doing this, wrapped up, scrolling on somebody's TikTok or Instagram and up under my heated blanket and all types of stuff. Like, I genuinely don't want to do this, but when you have a goal in mind and you're trying to accomplish it, you gotta throw those feelings out the way so that you can accomplish those goals, or they're gonna get pushed back. So, as much as I just fought my brain to sit on this couch and record, like, and it was a battle. It was a battle. Like, I gotta do what I gotta do. And sometimes in life, you gotta do what you gotta do when you don't wanna do it. But I just wanted to give y'all like this little tangent because I really don't want to be doing this, but I got to. But yeah. So last week I talked about not taking things personally. I really want to just double back to that topic. I really feel like on this personal development and self growth journey, it has been so prevalent in how I show up these days. It's funny because like people at work be like, oh my god, Deja, I wish I could, have the mindset that you do and not care and not give a fuck and everything. Like, and baby, this is not easy. There's times where I give a fuck, but when you develop that prefrontal, when that prefrontal develops and you think about things, you realize some of this stuff when you react to it, like, it wouldn't be worth it. Like, especially if you react and it's not received well, like, it's not worth to put your energy into it and things like that. So, and I just be trying to look at the other side most of the time because I know when I'm like thinking about why I did something and reacted a certain way, you know, I justify my stuff. I think we have a hard time giving that same um reciprocity to other people, really thinking about, okay, well, if when I did this, this is the reason this, that, then when they responded and reacted, that possibly is the reason why they did what they did. I think if we learn to give people the same type of treatment we give ourselves, we might do a little bit better. But maybe the reason why it doesn't always go that well is because maybe you don't give yourself the best treatment. And you gotta work on that. You gotta work on that so that you can learn how to show up for people in the way in which you show up for yourself. So work on giving yourself grace and the space to do mean things and it be all right, but also be able to pass that along to other people too, that they're going to do mean things and it's okay. As long as you can have a conversation about it, especially if it's something that's repetitive, that you can have a conversation about it and get to the underlying issues or a solution, then that makes it worth everything. But this week I want to talk about mindset, and I feel like I've talked about this before. I don't know if I like titled it mindset or whatever, but I just came up with the thought because I was like trying to figure out what I was going to talk about for today. Because baby, that was another reason why I didn't want to do this episode, is because all week, the whole week, I really didn't know what I was going to talk about. Like, I wanted to, probably do another agreement from the four agreements, but I didn't get a chance to get back around to it to kind of go through it and see what resonated and what I could speak on. But I've been thinking about mindset because in the time that I've been doing this podcast, as well as just like before and everything, like, mindset has been everything. But like, again, working at this job, like this job has been such an eye opener. Like when I tell you, God do not make mistakes, God do not mistakes. Like, what, do not make mistakes. Like when I tell y'all, this job was a by chance job, and only God did it, because I had no intentions on working a full time job. I had no intentions of like getting or hearing back from them, because I had applied for them previously, had not heard back from them. So like I did not know that I was going to be here in the slightest. But when I tell you, being in this environment and being the person I am right now in this environment, it has shown me so much and opened up so many doors in my brain that is just unbelievable. On top of who knows what is opening up in real life, but it's definitely opened up so many doors for me. Like, and it's crazy because when God closes the door, He opens up another one. So the fact that I got fired from my last job and then hired at this job, and things are just working out the way in which they need to, like, that's nothing but God. But I gotta give it. I be having to shout that out, because like when you pay attention to how He's working in your life, baby, you can only give Him grace. I mean, praise. Yeah, not grace. Well, you can give Him that too, but you can only give Him praise. Like, I literally have learned so much in this job about my growth and my development and everything, just because being around a whole bunch of addicts. And granted, I'm an addict too. I'm just addicted to different things, but being around a whole bunch of addicts, like, it really has been a mirror, like, held up. Like, and I pay attention so much to how I'm talking with the people that I'm talking with, like the different things that we converse about is so many things that I get to parallel to my own life, and I get to realize, like, yo, you giving out advice that you're not really taking yourself. And it's crazy because, most of the times, which everybody knows this, that we are amazing at giving out advice, but we have the hardest time taking our own advice. But, it's like there's so many parallels, like, that when I have a conversation with the people, I'm probably going through the exact same thing. So when I'm giving them my words of wisdom, I'm really talking to myself, but through them. Like, it's so amazing. But the biggest thing is mindset. Like, the mindset I have in this job is so different than before. I think that I've always been the type of person to be like, I don't care about what people gotta say and stuff like that. But I think, this space that I'm in now, it rings true that I truly don't give a damn what people like. I really don't give a damn. And I think it's because I know that everything is gonna work out the way it's supposed to work out, especially if I'm remaining true to who I am and not being malicious in how I do things. Like, I show up with very genuineness or kindness, or I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but I show up with integrity for the most part. And so when you show up with a kind heart and shit happens, shit's just supposed to happen. Like, and that, in this position, I've been so steadfast on being like, yo, I'm gonna show up and be me, and whatever happens, happens. And I have appreciated this environment, because this is the first environment ever where I felt comfortable enough to just be me. And I think it could be because I am around a whole bunch of addicts where, honestly, they don't, I ain't gonna say they don't, nobody gets the right to judge, but if you really think about it, they don't get the right to judge when, they have their own things going on. So it's like I feel a sense of comfortability to just be me, and however that's received by anybody that I'm working with, it is what it is. And that's not even just with the patients that are there. That's with my coworkers as well. Like, I show up and be me. Like, I ain't gonna say loud, but I got a volume on me when I want to. I am direct when I want to be. I'm funny when I want to be. I may shut down when I want to. All types of things. Like I get to do all of those things, and whomever rocks with me in the long run is who rocks with me, and I really haven't given a damn. And so like I really have been able to have a mindset of what's meant for me is for me. Like, not to be cliche, but that what is it? That quote is real deal. Like, what's meant for you will be for you, and it won't pass you, and it won't run away from you, and it won't miss you. But what's meant for you will be for you, as long as you show up as you. You can't show up as somebody else and then think you're gonna get what's meant for you to be for you. Like, you gotta show up as you, and you will get what you are meant to have. And like that's been like the driving thing. I noticed that the different things that have popped up into my space, because I'm also becoming more aware of like my interactions and how I'm dealing with certain people and things like that. Like I realize, and it's crazy because I tell the patients there all the time, is that like we're all a mirror for each other. And when I tell you, like, that's real shit. Like, you can, the best way to know where your mind is at is one, journaling. And if you want to know more about my journaling journey, go check out my journaling episode. Plug. But if you want to know where your mind space is at, look at your environment. Period, point blank. Look at your environment, look at the people you're attracting, look at what you're keeping around, all of those things. Like, pay attention. And not even to just like long term people that you're attracted. Pay attention to those people that come in and maybe say two words and you never see them again, or, relay a message and you never hear from them again. Like, pay attention to all of those things, because we are manifestors, like in the best way and the worst way sometimes. Like, we truly are manifestors. And so right now I'm in a space where I plan on going back to school to get my degree, my master's degree, so I can become a therapist. I'm in a space where I'm maintaining this podcast. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing so I can help those around me, all those good things. And I get that reflected back to me. I'm also working on maintaining, my self-esteem when it comes to my physical, because, sometimes you can get discouraged. Like, y'all, when I tell you, now, granted, I'm not the biggest I've been ever in my life. I think 2021 got me. 2021 got me. COVID got me. I was the biggest then. I'm not the biggest now, but being the size I am compared to how big I've been thus far in my life, which is crazy because you're comparing yourself to a kid or young adult, and that's not even a fair comparison sometimes, but that's the only reference point I have. But like, being like bigger than what I'm used to, it's kind of hard some days to maintain a level of self-esteem. And so maintaining that is coming out in the people around me, and really pouring into myself and caring about how I show up and, present myself and everything like that. Like, all of these things are coming out in the environment around me. Like, I have people that I'll sit and talk with about whatever they got going on. And by the end of it, I'll let them know, like, hey, yeah, I am planning on going back to school. Because they'll be like, oh, you're not thinking about being a therapist or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I am planning on going back to school. That's the goal, is to become a therapist. And I've heard that so many times. So I know it's coming. I know it's coming. From where? Who knows? But I know it's coming. I don't know who's school finna take me. Hope it's yours. And you know who I applied to. I hope it's yours. But, it's coming, because I keep getting the confirmations, or the affirmations rather, in my environments. Again, with the keeping my self esteem up. I go to work and dang near every day somebody's giving me a compliment on something about my appearance, and it makes me feel so good. Even when I go to talking about losing weight, which granted this can kind of be, depending on how you take it in. When I'm like, oh, I need to lose weight, people be like, girl, what weight? Like, and to me, that is beautiful. Like, I ain't mad at it. Hey, but it's just like, is don't pretend like you don't see the weight. But then again, considering that majority of America is overweight, maybe they don't. I don't know, but I get reflected, like getting those things reflected back to me, like, girl, what weight? Like, what are you talking about? You need to lose weight. What are you talking about? Like, you look perfectly fine. And it's just like, oh, y'all, thank you. Thank you. I know, but I do need to lose the fat. And that's what I need to start saying. Fuck the weight. I am okay with the weight. I need to lose the fat because the fat is fat and it is not matter. But I love to eat. Oh, yeah, somebody teach me how to eat good and still lose weight. I gotta figure it out because the math ain't math then. But yeah, like all of these things are starting to reflect back to me. And then there's episodes ago where I talked about how the last guy that I dealt with, how he, when he would, try to hit below the belt, he would make comments about, oh, you're not a therapist and you can't do this, that, and the third. And it's just like, in that space, I really felt that way. And it took for someone to manifest it into my reality for me to realize, yo, you actually probably was thinking like that, because going back to school has been a almost 5 year thing, almost, because I graduated 2020, so it's almost a 5 year thing. And how far I pushed it off, and the fact that every year I would be like, okay, I'm gonna take this GRE, I'm gonna take this GRE, I'm gonna apply to school, and I kept not showing up for myself. Like, that started to become very prevalent. And so the fact that I manifested someone to come into my space and reflect that out to me was just like an eye opener. Of course, coming from him, that was problematic because we not gonna do that. But in hindsight, it's like I really can't even be upset with him saying some stuff that I've been thinking myself. And that's been my thing, is like paying attention to that as well. Now, granted, do I catch it in a moment? Probably not. But like, when people say things that we agree with and we get upset with them, but not really have the sit down with ourselves and really go through our stuff, like, that is insane. And I get it that when people push your button or trigger you, you're like very reactive and stuff like that. But if you are able to pause and take a minute and be like, yo, it ain't like they saying something that I ain't already told myself. Like, why am I finna get upset with them instead of doing the work with it? Because like now, well, I ain't gonna say I would have navigated it differently. I think me separating myself from him was probably the best thing too, is because it's like a representation of separating myself from the side of me that thinks I'm not gonna get to where I need to be, you know and so cutoff game, gotta be strong when it comes to the individuals that come into your life. But you know I'll even with all of the bad things that was said and did and things like that, like I said, I don't hold a grudge against no one I've dealt with in the past, because they all were needed in the time in which they came into my space. Regardless of what happened and everything, they all were needed to get me to the space that I'm in. And the separation is needed to let go of the person that was connected to them. Now, if only I can, And I don't think it's impossible. I could do it. All things are possible. But there's a will, there's a way. You know, but with guy number two is really sitting with that and grieving that that person that connected to him 6 5 6 years 7 6 years ago, that's not the person you are anymore. Or that's the person that you are letting lay to rest because you no longer need her anymore, because she's not serving you anymore. And I think that, it's hard letting that go. Oh, why do I always cry? It never fails. I cry every episode at this point because it's the personal development and self growth, season. So you gotta cry every episode. But it's like, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about it because it's like letting go of the person that didn't think about themselves and put everybody else in front of her. And I'm not that person anymore. And whenever he comes around, it's like that person won't rest. She won't rest. She won't rest. And I think that I truly got cut off that situation, especially with who he is. Because I don't think he's changing. He's not changing anytime soon anyway. But like, I think that's been that's been the hardest part of letting him go, is because closing that door means that I literally closed the door on the people pleaser and the girl that just does for everyone. And it's crazy because every person after him has literally reflected that. It's like people pleasing and wanting someone around just for the sake of having someone around, and not having a standard because of abandonment and all types of things. Like, oh gosh, I hadn't thought about that until now. Everything happens for a reason. But yeah, closing the door on him means that that girl goes to rest, because he's the last connection to that girl, because everybody else I've completely cut off and shut down. And if you can't think of me, you can't be with me. But him, he's like that last string to cut. And I'm like, slowly but surely giving the new me power to let the old me like lay to rest, like, and letting her know that it's okay and that you still can care and you still can do and you still can show up, but you don't have to do it at the expense of yourself. That you don't have to, neglect your feelings for somebody else's just for the sake of having somebody around. Like, and that's hard. That's hard to like let that person go. So it's not even about him, and that's the crazy part. Because I already knew it was never about him. It was about the version of me that I've been for so long, that when I cut him loose completely and let him go off and do what he needs to do, like, and just love him from a distance, like, that means that I'm doing that with the version of me that was obsessed in that moment. And that version of me, I think I'm ready to let her rest. I really think I am, because who I'm becoming now is attracting so many great things into my space. Like, it's attracting so many great things into my space. Like, my mindset is so much freer and everything. Like, when I tell y'all, like, I have been an attraction magnet. Like, when I said I wanted to get my finances on track, I attracted my financial advisor and, got set up with life insurance. And, I've been getting extra money at work and being able to save. And I have a savings. Like, it's crazy because I will watch the videos where it's like majority of Americans don't even have $1,000 of a rainy day fund, and it's like, yo, I have that. Like, I just have been attracting so much, and I just focusing on me and making sure that I'm achieving the things that I want to achieve. And I do think that it's scary too to let him go, because then that puts me in a space where I have to remain vulnerable with people and to get to a relationship, because being committed to someone is frightening. I'm scared shitless. I'm pretty sure I've said this before. But like, I'm terrified. And closing the door on him gives me the space to just be open to the opportunities of someone coming in and presenting me with the desires of my heart. And that is, woo, a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in. And, but I do think that I believe that I'm ready. Like, I'm ready. Who, it's been a long time. Like, you're literally 6 years holding on to the person, to the girl that just wanted the love of someone she couldn't have. And then it ties back to my dad's shit, and then kind of redrawing lines to how that parallels and everything. And it's just like, it's so much. It's so much. But, like I said, I think, my reality has reflected that so much. Because if we're talking about relationships outside of the actual dudes I've been dealing with, like, something I paid attention to too is like when people tell me, now depending on the day, I receive it. I receive it. When they, like, I'll be talking about, oh yeah, can't wait till I get the man, get the marriage, and all these other things, and people will be like, yeah, it's coming, and it's gonna be there, and everything. I like one day I could receive it, and I'm like, yes, I know he's coming, and he's gonna do what I need him to do. Then another day, you'll tell me he's coming, and I'm just like, mm-hmm, whatever you say, whatever you say. Like, and it's like in disbelief, like, okay, he's coming, but where yet? He's coming, but he ain't made a grand impact. Like, and so that has reflected so much, because I've had people around me to reflect both sides of the thought process that I've had. But, again, if I'm like at work and I'm talking with, the patients about their love lives and how things are coming up for them, and I'm giving them these words of wisdom and everything, like, there's no way in which that I can even encourage them to do something that I'm scared to do myself. Like, and I, like, today, oh, and it's probably the reason why we had the conversation, so I could talk about it today. But I was talking with the guy, which is crazy because he's been at the facility before, and he was like, "Oh yeah, the last time I was here, we were talking and I took your advice, and when I got home, I was doing well and I was sober, and then I let oh my gosh, and then I let my ex come back into my space, and then all hell broke loose, and I relapsed, and now I'm back here." And what's crazy is like, I didn't relapse, but because I don't use substances, but literally the same thing just happened. Now, granted, I reached out to him and that's how he came back, but doing well, doing the things, and then pop goes the weasel, like pop up, and then, he literally dysregulates my whole nervous system all over again. And I'm just like, why do I allow this? And that's basically was what I was like communicating to him. I'm just like, that, and her coming back in, it just shows you where you maybe have to enforce heavier boundaries, or maybe keep a wall up. Like, I get that this is someone that you care about and that you want the end all to be all with, but like the biggest thing I told him is like, well, I asked him, I was like, does she how did I word it? I was like, does she take care of your heart or something like that? He was like, no, she hurts it. And I'm just like, well, if she doesn't take care of your heart, she does not deserve you. And it's like, those words never rang more true than when I said them to somebody else. Like, if somebody doesn't hold your heart and take care of your heart, they are not worth your time. And it sucks because it's just like, that, and you stay around because you're just like, the reason why you can't hold my heart is maybe because somebody never held yours. And but when you're, yeah, jeez, oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I just be, y'all know I be coming off the, I'm not trying to be jumpy all over the place, but it's just like, you stay in this situation because you're like, I can tell no one has held your heart, so I want to do that for you. But then it's just like, but who gets to take care of mine if I'm taking care of yours and you don't even know how to take care of your own heart? And so like, that's basically what I was like telling him. I was just like, if you're gonna try and take care of her heart and nobody takes care of your heart, then where does that leave you? Just with a broken heart and somebody there just to say I got somebody? Like, that's not a life worth living. Unless you want to live that, then I'm not going to knock you on what you're doing and how you're doing it, but that's not a life worth living. And although you get to help somebody in the process, are you really helping them though? Because they're not holding their own heart. They're having somebody else do it. Like, they're not a kid anymore. They don't need you to hold their hand. Like, and it's so hard to not want to do that for someone when you're a giver, and like, your biggest thing is to give, but if you're not receiving anything back in return, like, that giving gets really tiresome, and that's how you build resentment, and that's how you end up hating the person that you intended to love, because you kept giving and giving, and they held you held their heart, and they knew nothing of what to do with your heart. And so, it just, the reflections, all of this to say, like, the reflections that I've seen at work pop up to mimic or reflect to me the things that are going on in my life that I need to take my own advice on and really implement it, because it's real shit. Like, the moment you close the door, and not even to say you don't love this person anymore, you don't care for this person anymore, that you don't want the best for this person, like not even to say those things, because I genuinely want all of those things for anybody that I deal with, but I can't sacrifice my heart to protect someone else's, and they're not doing the same, if that makes sense. Like they're okay with letting their heart turn black while I'm over here trying to make sure that bitch stay pink. Like, that's a lot of work. And in the process of me making sure your heart doesn't turn black, I'm working overtime to make sure my heart doesn't turn black too. And so, it's just mindset. Oh, the mind. Oh, when they say we are creators, baby, we are creators. Like, legit creating our environment that is in our head. And this is why the journaling and the talking and the meditating and the going through everything is so important. Because if you're not, it's going to show everything around you and you're going to miss everything you need to be paying attention to. Like everything that has come into my space, and I'm pretty sure before I even became conscious of the things that they were showing me what I need to be shown, but everything has been so reflective of what's going on inside and what still needs tender love and care, and what is improving and growing and doing the shit, and what is not changing, what is not working. Like, whew, it's so beautiful when you become woke to yourself. And I think I mentioned that last week. Like, just become woke to you and your interactions. That's how you get to where you're supposed to be. Like, that's how you do the things you're supposed to do. Like, literally, I did not know me applying for this job would have me sitting here reflecting on everything in the last almost a year that has helped me to become, or not even helped me to become, but like has shown me so much about the space I'm in. Like, I was applying for this job because I was trying to get unemployment. But God was like, baby girl, you don't need that shit. You don't need unemployment. Let me work for you. Let me work for you. Just do what you think you gotta do, but let me work for you. And lo and behold, I got the interview. And funny enough, the people that I interviewed, and again, I think I told this, but the people I interviewed with initially was not even the department that I'm in now. I initially interviewed with the therapist side of things, didn't get it, and now I'm in case management side of things, got it, and being routed back to being a therapist. Like, God, oh baby, God may not come when you want him, but he be there right on time. He's an old young guy. Yes, he is. Hey, yes, he is. Ah, yes, he is. Hey, yes, he is. Okay, I'm sorry. Praise break. But like, oh my gosh, it's been so beautiful. And that's really all I could boil it down to. I know I've said that so many times, and y'all probably be like, oh my God, if she say this shit is beautiful one more time. I don't know. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're agreeing. But like I said, we're not going to take it personally. But like, it's so beautiful because who would have thunk? Who would have thunk that I would be in this space right now Like the mindset is just so open and clear and ready to receive whatever is meant for me. And that's including my husband too, God. You know, I'm terrified, but I'm terrified, but I'm ready. I promise I'm ready. So whenever you want to send that, you done sent the money, you done sent the job, you done sent the going back to school, you done sent all that. Go ahead and send the husband while you at it, since you sending things and I'm on the receiving end. I'm ready to catch. Let me be the wide receiver of the year. Um, for 2025, I'm ready to receive it. Go ahead. And through you, all things are possible. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I'm ready to receive. Amen. Amen. But yeah, y'all, I'm not even gonna draw like this episode out. I really feel like I got what I needed out of it. And I didn't even know I was gonna get it. Like I say, y'all, this be off the dome. Everything that comes up was meant to come up because I don't script. I don't do none of that. Although I be trying, but it just don't feel right. It don't feel right to read off the tablet all the time, like to try and plan out a whole episode. It don't feel right. I just like being able to just talk out loud. And the revelations, the revelation that I be having just be so amazing because granted I slowly be getting to the revelations or epiphanies, whatever you want to call it. I slowly begin to it, but it's not until I turn on this camera that all of it comes together and it's just like, oh, that's a release, like relief off your spirit. Like, and what's crazy is sometimes I don't even be thinking about crying. And then I turn on this camera, go to talking, and here come the tears. And it's just like, okay, that's what you needed. That is exactly what you needed, and that is exactly the direction in which you wanted to go. And what's crazy too, like I mentioned at the beginning, I did not want to do this episode. I really didn't. I wanted to lay down and be wrapped up and be almost asleep at this point. But my spirit said, sit your ass on that couch and turn on this camera and get to talking. Because every time you do that, something comes out that you need to come out. And it's for you at the end of the day. Every time you sit on this couch and you turn on this light and you turn on this camera, it's for you. And so I am going to end this here. I hope you got something out of my little spiel about mindset. Like, wherever your energy festers or focuses on, that's what you're going to manifest in your reality. So, if you're telling yourself really bad things and you have no faith in yourself and you believe really bad things, that's going to manifest. If you start to pour into your own cup and let yourself know positive things and affirm yourself in the best ways, that's what's going to show up. And if you're doing both at the same time, that's going to show up too. So, start paying attention to your external so that you can be more aware of your internal. Because as you clean up the internal, you do the work, you love on all parts of you, you're going to attract people that do the same thing. You're going to attract environments that get you exactly where you need to go. That's how we work. That's how powerful we are. Like, we dictate all this stuff. That's where that free will comes in. We get the option. Excuse me, sorry y'all, allergy season. We get the option to either lean into our worldly desires or give into our God consciousness desires, godly desires. It's up to you which desires you focus your energy on. Because the moment you go with God, hey, once you go with God, what they say, but once you go God, everything get right. I they don't say that, but I'm gonna figure out something. Then it's gonna go on a shirt or something. But once you go to God, everything get right. But the more you give into that worldly stuff, the stuff that we learn that, takes us away from what we naturally should be doing and what we intuitively feel that we should be doing. Once you start going against those things because of whatever you learned in this world and everything like that, that's what's going to have you doing the same things over and over and over again. Like, literally, you can live in hell or heaven. Choose which one you want to live in, because hell is going to be you doing the same shit over and over and over again, the same results, and still running in the same type of pain and everything like that. Heaven is going to be you trusting the process. You're doing stuff to cater to you, who you truly are, and you doing the right things, and you showing up with integrity, and you're being compassionate and leading with love and all of those things. You gonna get where you need to go. Trust me, I am a testament. And I'm just at the beginning of the journey. Like, I don't even think I'm in the middle nowhere. I'm very much so just at the beginning of seeing all the things that I've asked for come to fruition. But y'all, when I get that man, and I can tell y'all, I got that man. Hey, I'm gonna let y'all know, like, hey, if you didn't believe before, hey, you better believe now, because that would be the last thing. Not even the last thing, but that would be a major thing, because that is a desire of the heart that just won't go away. It is a desire of the heart that won't go away, is to have my husband come and love on me and I love on him, and us to become one. I'm ready to fight that too. No, I'm just kidding. I don't fight. I don't fight physically, mentally, spiritually. I don't fight. Look, you gotta be careful what you say, cause gotta be that switch somebody to fight. All right, you be like, oh, you said fight, all right. Nah, I'm just kidding. But once that comes, I'm gonna be like, yeah, we got the power. Like, if you didn't believe before, hey, you got the power. But y'all, that's all I'm going to talk about for this week. Next week, I am going to do a summary of this season. I'm going to go through all of my episodes and take the most important parts that I talked about in each episode for this season, because it'll be the season finale. Season finale. Okay, I'm sorry. You can't tell that I'm tired at all, can you? But yes, I'm going to take the most important parts from each episode of this season and put it together and let y'all know what I hope for the rest of 2025, because we're only in the beginning, y'all. We're only in the beginning. And then who knows what I'm going to talk about for the next season, because that's only God. But that's for me to find out. I definitely am going to take time to figure out how long my break is going to be, because I need it to be sufficient. Like I said, y'all almost didn't get this one tonight. I need it to be sufficient enough to where I can pause and feel comfortable enough coming back. But I'm definitely going to take time to think about those things. And like I said, I'm going to pull the most important things from this season and share with y'all. And then, yeah, that's going to be season 1, personal development and self growth. So, yeah, y'all, if you're on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. One of these days, I'm going to remember to say that at the beginning too. Like, please subscribe so you can tune in with me daily. But, well, not daily, bi-weekly. I mean, not weekly. But, that's something we'll work on for season 2, come back bigger and better. But yeah, if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you agree with the things that I'm saying. Like, has your mindset reflected your environment? Has your mindset created the chaos around you or the peace around you? Because it's all about you, baby. It only takes one person to get you on track, and that one person is moi or yeah. Uh, and then definitely stream me on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, all the things. I don't even know how many it is out there, but I think I'm on all of them. So definitely stream me. If you can't look at the visual, but the visual is always fun. Like, it's just me, but come look at me or whatever. I don't know, but yes. If you're on the streaming platforms, definitely rate the podcast. If you like what you hear, let me know. And then give me feedback, y'all. Like, I put my email and everything everywhere. Um, Email me. Let me know what you would like to see for season 2, or what topics you want me to talk about for season 2. Because if you're listening, I would love to incorporate you into this, because what I said, we is the shit talkers over here. Or that's what I'm trying to become anyways. Because, well, I ain't trying to become, I'm trying to gain shit talkers, because I'm already a shit talker. I've been coined a shit talker my whole entire life. So I'm trying to find all those that talk shit with me. But, email me and let me know some feedback and some ideas, because I'm taking all ideas for season 2. But yes, y'all, tune in next week for the season finale, and I will tune in with y'all. So this is Talk Your Shit with Deja, where we drop the I, because not only can I talk my shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. Bye.